Once you wake up, it's just a dream.
Order filled.
It's just a dream.
What's good, YouTube? Quant.less here, back at it again, bro. Let's get it. Hope you guys absolutely banked today. What happened today was definitely pretty unexpected. I'm not gonna lie. We took a short. You already know we banked. So far, looking like an absolutely amazing week for me. Having no trade on Monday, Tuesday, yesterday took an absolute banger, and today took an absolute banger as well. So let's get straight into it. You already know. So today's going to be, basically I'm going to be running over my trade recap and my thoughts throughout the trade and why I took it and why I held to where I held and what I was looking for, as well as I will be explaining what I'm looking for towards the rest of the week, as it sort of changed as I noticed this morning after this huge dump. So let's get straight into it. So to start off for today, right? As you know, we overall look for a sense of where price is, where price wants to draw towards, and overall just a sense of what price wants to do for the day, okay? So initially, let me show you my outlook. Okay, my outlook, my pre-market notes for today was there was no sequential at the highs, no sequential at the lows. Overall bullish structure, that was before I found out what we had, right? Weekly profile is XAMD, meaning today can be the manipulation phase. Preferably want longs. We created weekly cycle with previous day low yesterday. We have that holding us up. Would like for us to manipulate lower towards true day open and maybe daily cycle with daily cycle Q2 low, long straight up. Now, I did sort of change this up. That was before I saw what I saw, and I said, or short to 2-day open. So overall, going into the day, I was sort of mixed bias. Wasn't really looking for a sort of like perfect setup. I was waiting to see what New York Open was going to present to me. Okay, so let me take this off. So the ICT. Okay, so basically, going into New York Open, right around here. Okay, so what was I looking for? What did I see? Okay, so right when market opened, right when New York opened, as I explained, we had no sequential SMT at the highs, no sequential SMT at the lows, right? I will explain in a second as to why my sort of weekly / monthly, but mainly I'll explain in a second, but why sort of my look on the market has sort of changed for the next couple of days coming up. Okay, so overall looking into the daily Po3, but overall looking bearish to take shorts off open, as I realized because we had our accumulation overnight, we had started to get a manipulation higher, and then we wanted to catch distribution lower, correct? Now, something that I noticed was the fact that daily open, as you can see right here, if you want to align our daily open is near our true day open. It almost overlaps, okay? This, to me, seemed almost as if it was going to be a magnet in price, as we were above off of open, practically right at true month open. We were above true week open, true day open, true quarterly open. We were above low of day. We had nothing at low of day, nothing at the daily cycle Q2 low. Overall, this is what we had, as well as we had the EQ of this entire range, and I wanted us to reach within this area, correct? Now, what did I see off of New York Open that made me want to take this short? Well, right when market opened, okay, what did we see right off the bat? Well, we saw a 90-minute sequential. Right the second that New York opened, YM immediately pumped to take out the previous 90-minute cycle high, while ES did not, and NQ failed to raid that high. So automatically we have a 90-minute sequential above true New York Open and true monthly open. Okay, so now going into that, what else do we see here? I was like, okay, this is sort of aligning for a potential bearish move. What else do we see? We see a 5-minute swing divergence, which I've explained in my previous videos, right? ES had taken out the previous candle's high, and YM has also taken out the previous candle's high, but NQ has failed to, putting in a failure swing there. Okay, we as well had a 15-minute swing divergence. As you can see, ES failed to take the previous 15-minute candle's high. YM obviously did take out the previous 15-minute candle's high, and NQ failed to. Okay, so we had the 15-minute swing divergence stacked on top of the 5-minute swing divergence stacked on top of the 90-minute cycle sequential. So I dropped down to the 1 minute looking for an entry. What did I see here? There was also, I don't know why I did not mark it out. I'm not entirely sure. But we had a microcycle sequential as well. As you can see, NQ failed to take the previous microcycle's high, while YM did, and ES failed to. So what does this tell us? This tells us that we are looking really, really bearish, right? Now, what made me want to take this trade? Well, the 9:30 candle. The 9:30 candle, nothing clear. 9:31 candle was a 1-minute PSP. Okay, what have I explained about 1-minute PSPs? Those low time frame cracking correlations allow me to go to an even lower time frame to look for a better entry. Okay, so the 9:31 candle was our 1-minute PSP. This validated a 15-second entry for me, which you can obviously see this was a 1-minute PSP. In fact, this was a 1-minute PSP swing divergence, as ES had failed to take out the previous candle's high, and so did NQ. Meanwhile, obviously, YM was pumping, and YM took out the previous candle's high, right? As you can obviously see. Okay, so 1-minute PSP swing divergence. What does this tell me? Let's drop down to the 15-second, look for an entry. What did I do? I looked for the first 15-second CISD that was presented to me, which was this CISD right here. This was my exact entry. My stop was at the high. The reason my stop was specifically at this high, which I'll explain in 2 seconds, is because we had a swing divergence with this high. Okay, now I could put it at the protected high considering we had a microcycle sequential at the high, but I really wanted better risk reward on this. I did not want to go for a 47-point stop loss. Would have rather a more of 35-point stop loss, even though that's still decently big for me. I was fine with it considering I knew this was going to play out. Okay, obviously NQ did not raid this high, the previous candle's high. Obviously YM did, as YM was still kind of moving, and NQ failed to. ES failed to, sorry. So what did this tell me? Let me just put my stop right there. And yes, I was thinking I was initially TPing at True Day Open. But looking on to what I wanted to happen for the day, I wanted us to take out our daily cycle Q2 low. Why is that? Technically, I even explained here. Hold on 1 second. In my intraday thoughts, I explain here, initially TP at True Day Open, but now I say we create new low of day. DC QT, daily cycle QT low would be target. So that was my target, as just trying to catch the low-hanging fruit, just trying to catch, that quick profit, because I wanted to get out of this, and I was feeling really good about this trade, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to go for too much, because who knows if we can create a sequential at the daily cycle QT low, then we can potentially move higher. I could have TP'd at low of day, but it was not going to give me a huge difference, as I would have caught, 130 points instead of 110. I was like, you know what, whatever, it's fine. So what did I do? I TP'd at the daily cycle QT low, and within just a couple minutes, TP was hit. So that is my trade recap for today. Now, going into the higher time frame and what I'm looking for the week. This was a little unexpected. As I explained, in my weekly outlook in my free Discord, I explained that I would have preferred for us to, let me pull it up here. I thought that we were in an AMDX this month, right? Being first week accumulation, second week manipulation, third week distribution, and fourth week expansion. Okay, so this is what I thought, right? And I thought that we were going to reach the 50%, reach around this area, and then continue higher, right? Now, recently, I realized something earlier this morning. After we had this huge dump, I was like, this is really strange. I'm wondering why we are doing this when I thought the higher time frame structure was overall going to be more bullish after we reached our higher time frame objective. Well, this is exactly why. I didn't notice this as much. However, YM as well took out all-time highs up here. Okay, so this indicated some bearish movement. Okay, here's something that I just recently noticed. So what I realized is, let me pull up the for the amount there. Okay, so going from the monthly open, right? Let me delete all of this. Going from the monthly open, right? Okay. So, from here, what have we done? Initially, I took this as our accumulation, manipulation, and then eventually distribution for higher prices. Correct? Now, looking at this more in depth, I realized going from previous week, we can say, from last week, Monday, whatever, around Monday to Friday, this looks like clear accumulation. Now, yes, although we dumped on Friday, this looks like clear accumulation, correct? Now, going into the week before that, we did not as much accumulate, more so we expanded, okay? So looking into this, we might not be in an AMDX this month, rather an XAMD, right? As we had our expansion the first week, accumulation the second week, right? And now manipulation this week. Now you might be wondering, where are we manipulating to as we look like we're just stuck in the middle of this range, and are we really going to go all the way down here, dump about 1,000 points? Probably not. What I see, though, is that there is a completely unmitigated and new log down here. Now, my bet is what we might potentially be wanting to do is reach down here, right, have our manipulation for this week be for us to manipulate down into this new log, for us to then send price higher the next week, being expansion or distribution and then expansion towards higher prices up here to the monthly high. Okay, now that's what I'm seeing as for right now. We're creating a low, we open, low, high, close if we want to open really, really high this month, and we want to take out all-time highs at the end of the month, by the end of the month. Okay? Something else I noticed here too, which I'm sure probably some people noticed too, or might have not noticed, is that we are currently right now looking like we are in a, only 1 hour, a market maker buy model, right? As we had our original consolidation up here, and then we had our, right, original consolidation around here. Then we had our first stage reaccumulation and our second stage reaccumulation. And now we are manipulating lower for us to potentially reach this NWOG, for us to then move higher, send price higher, higher and higher and higher. Okay. So that's pretty much my look onto this week and sort of my bias switch, realizing that Price might have other plans. And yeah, I mean, that's my trade recap. I hope you guys all banked today too. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Have an absolutely blessed day.